But making deals with Tshisekedi is...
Making deals with what?
With Tshisekedi, with Felix?
It's very difficult.
It's the most difficult thing. The most, I am just challenging anybody. I want to see anybody who has made a deal with him and who would say, you are telling lies. I would want to see that. On the contrary, I have dealt with him. I know. You say you agree something, just as he steps out the door.
So it's an issue of leadership.
Out of the room. It's completely either forgotten, changed, or some we will say, no, we didn't say that.
It looks very evident that Rwanda's supporting M23. And I'm saying this myself, so you're not saying it.
I wouldn't even run away from. It depends on what you see. Why sometimes we have been vague and so on. I'll tell you this.
I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love you to tell me. And I think I know why as well.
You see, if they keep saying, "Are you in Congo?" and I say yes, that becomes
they blame you for everything.
The only problem, and that is the end.
Exactly. That's what I learned.
It has legal implications. They see, he even said it. And the other problems, why Rwanda could have gone there or why they could have done this, all those problems are forgotten. The only problem is, why are you in Congo?
And they blame everything that's happening in Congo. It's been happening for decades with all these different groups fighting, all these different countries with their hands in Congo. Everything's gone because Rwanda said that small country with 13 million people said they have troops, or they have not troops, sorry, they're supporting M23.
All the minerals that have been worth billions and billions, they say, you see, the whole money was taken by Rwanda. For us, we are...
Yeah, that's what I learned. Because I was really confused on...
Yes. No, that's the reason.
Because you're a very direct person, so you're always very honest, very open, very direct. Your team said,
I tried even on that to be direct. I know, because I said, Rwanda has taken defensive measures. It's up to anybody to interpret whether that means I went into Congo, I am very close.
You came into Rwanda, the RPF came in, you took over the government, and you took over leadership after about 100 days, 3 months or so. And then you had a country, as you said earlier, that was just death. There was nothing there, just dead bodies and dogs eating those bodies. Mm-hmm. And anyone that was alive was either a participant in the massacre or someone that was lucky enough to escape. How? What would you do as someone that is in charge of such a country? What was the first thing you did to rebuild the country?
Yeah, you got to find where to start from, and one of them was reorganize the forces that that had been fighting, and map out what next do we do. We at least the war is won with a huge loss. That's another issue. And then the other is what remains of people. By the way, this was accompanied in 1994 at the beginning. We had nearly 3 million people who went into Eastern Congo. 3 million. And others about 600 to 800,000 into Tanzania.
Wow.
Yeah. So the whole country was emptied. Yes, and that was part of the strategy for them. It was like, if we are defeated, and then we shall empty the country so that these people, because they used to call us foreigners, that these foreigners who came in from outside, from Uganda, from Burundi, from wherever, by the time they come, they should find the country empty, meaning making it ungovernable, or even to fail to start from anywhere. So, but we did two things. We reorganized our own people, and we're in no way hiding the fact that this was almost an impossible task to rebuild the country that starts from below the scratch and empty of people because the refugees had, others were displaced internally. 3 million went to Eastern Congo, about 700, 800 went to Tanzania, others hundreds to Uganda, others hundreds of thousands to both Uganda and Burundi. So we had others internally displaced in their thousands. So we had now to create a sense of security to allow people and start encouraging people not only to come back from outside, but also for those internally displaced to go back to their places and assure them nothing is going to happen to them, which we succeeded in doing.
Rwanda is a country that depended on foreign aid for a long time. I think you're one of the biggest beneficiaries. 90% of GDP in the old days was from aid. I think now
in the old days.
Now it's about, yeah, exactly. Now it's down to like 10-15%. You guys have done really well at not depending on aid. So what you're saying is that aid is, again, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but aid could become a liability for a country based on what you're saying.
That is even an understatement. It is. In the long run, it is. Depends on how it is managed. And that has been a position from the beginning. We have told the people we appreciate aid, we needed it, and we still need it to an extent, but we need it so that we build capacities, not to need it in the near future. That is a standard for us. That's what we say, and that's what we do.
Again, a common friend of ours told me a story about how you were talking with other leaders about this aid. And there was instances where you're like, and I'd rather you tell the story than I, but you're like, I don't need that aid. And they're almost like they're trying to force it on you in a way.
Yeah.
Can you give me such examples?
These discussions have dominated many years and many conversations we have had between those who need support, aid support. And the question for us has always been, we need it. Can put a date to it. We can show where we need it, but we also work out how to get out of it. And this is something we have with us. We share with anyone who wants to do work relating to aid with us. But that has attracted a lot of problems for us. Some of us even thinking, we have been branded either arrogant or insensitive or dictatorial or all kinds of names, just because of that.
Because you don't want aid.
We try to differentiate things. It's not that we don't want aid for the sake of not wanting it. We are saying aid creates dependency. But not only dependency is on the good side, the better side even. The other one is, whoever gives you aid controls your life. In fact, that's why they want you to stay with aid, so they continue controlling your life. And even threaten, use it as a tool to direct you where they want you to go. They keep threatening, if you don't do this, we will switch off.
It's politically weaponizing aid.
It is weaponized, absolutely.